Chosen one, listen to me carefully. I am carrying an important and urgent message today, and this message is not for everyone. This is only for those who truly walk the divine path of God, those who are chosen, those whose hearts are aligned with heaven. If you are not serious about God, if you mock spirituality, or if you walk in darkness, this message will not stay with you. But if you are still watching, it is because God allowed this message to reach you at the exact right moment in your life. What you are about to hear is not random, it is confirmation. You didn't click this video by accident. Heaven guided you here. Chosen one, there was a moment when you helped, protected, listened to, or showed mercy to someone. And you had no idea who they truly were. Without even knowing it, you saved an angel. And God saw everything. This revelation will shift how you see your past, your struggles, and your purpose. And if you stay until the end, you will finally understand why certain doors are about to open for you. Before we continue, chosen ones like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, tap the bell icon, share this message with other chosen ones, and comment 777 in the comments to declare your alignment with God's divine plan. Understanding the angelic realm and God's hidden work. Chosen one, let me slow this down and speak to your spirit, not just your ears. Many believers love the idea of angels, but very few truly understand how quietly they move, how deeply they observe, and how intentionally God uses them in our lives. Angels are not fantasy. They are not decorations for scripture. They are active servants of God, moving constantly between heaven and earth, carrying out assignments that most humans will never fully see. Scripture makes it clear that angels are messengers, protectors, and witnesses. They do not act on emotion, they act on instruction. Every movement is purposeful. And here is something many people miss. Angels are often sent not to perform miracles, but to observe obedience. God already knows the heart, but angels are witnesses to human choices. They see how you respond when no one is watching. They observe how you treat people when it costs you something. Chosen ones often encounter angels without dramatic signs. No glowing wings, no thunder from the sky. Why? Because God is testing sincerity, not curiosity. Angels frequently appear as ordinary people, situations, interruptions, or even burdens. They come clothed in normalcy, so that only the heart, not the eyes, reveals the truth. You see, darkness announces itself loudly. Light often arrives quietly. Angels do not force themselves into attention. They blend in, they watch. They measure compassion, patience, humility, and obedience. And chosen ones, because of your spiritual sensitivity, you respond differently than most people. You don't always know why you help. You just feel compelled to do what is right. Now understand this. Not every angelic encounter feels holy. Some feel inconvenient. Some feel uncomfortable. Some feel emotionally heavy. That is because angels are sometimes sent into moments of tension. They are placed where frustration, fear, or selfishness could easily take over. And God watches to see which spirit you choose to operate in. Let me bring peace to your mind right now. Angels are not here to judge you harshly. They are not sent to trap you. They are sent to confirm alignment. When you act from love instead of ego, from patience instead of anger, from obedience instead of fear, heaven records it. Quietly. Permanently. Chosen one, this is why your life has never been ordinary. You have always felt watched, guided, restrained, redirected. That was not imagination. That was protection. That was instruction. That was God placing spiritual boundaries around you that others do not have. The angelic realm works closely with God's chosen vessels because chosen ones carry responsibility. Your actions echo further than you realize. When you show mercy, it doesn't stop with that moment. It creates movement in the spiritual realm. Angels report faithfulness. They advocate protection. They are assigned to guard what God has marked. Now let me correct something gently but firmly. Angels are not to be worshipped. They are servants. They operate under authority, and they do not interfere unless permitted. This is why God values free will so deeply. Heaven responds to choice. When you choose obedience, Angels are authorized to move. When you choose fear, their hands are often restrained. This is why some of you feel delayed blessings, not because God forgot you, but because timing matters. Angels move when conditions align, and chosen ones are trained through pressure so that when heaven releases something, it does not destroy you. Let me say this plainly so your mind can rest. God does not send angels to confuse you. He sends them to assist the process of shaping you. Sometimes that assistance looks like protection. Sometimes it looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like a stranger crossing your path at just the wrong or right moment. Chosen one, think back. There were moments you cannot explain. A conversation that lingered. A person you felt drawn to help. A situation where you felt a strange peace doing the right thing, even when it cost you. Those were not coincidences. Those were intersections between heaven and earth. Angels are also assigned to watch over chosen ones during seasons of isolation. When you felt unseen, unheard, unsupported, heaven was closer than ever. Angels stand guard when God is doing deep internal work. They protect the process so it is not interrupted by premature exposure. I want to calm something in your spirit right now. You do not need to fear angels. You do not need to seek them. You do not need to question every interaction. God does not burden his chosen ones with paranoia. Awareness is not obsession. Trust is not anxiety. The angelic realm responds to purity of heart, not spiritual performance. They are drawn to obedience, humility, and love. That is why chosen ones often live quietly, serve deeply, and suffer silently. Heaven is watching even when people are not. And here is something only mature believers understand. Sometimes angels need help too. Not because they are weak, but because God allows humans to participate in spiritual outcomes. When you act in love, you partner with heaven. You become part of God's work without ever being told. Chosen one, this knowledge is not meant to inflate you. It is meant to steady you, to reassure you, to remind you that your quiet faithfulness matters more than public recognition. Heaven sees what people overlook, and as we go deeper, you will begin to understand why you were the one placed in that moment, and why God trusted you with it. Chosen one, let me add this layer gently, because some of you need this reassurance right now. You have questioned yourself many times. You have replayed moments in your mind wondering if you did enough, said enough, helped enough. That questioning does not come from weakness. It comes from a heart that is spiritually alive. Angels notice that too. Heaven notices when you care beyond obligation. There are moments when angels are sent not to receive help, but to activate remembrance. They cross your path so that later, when doubt tries to consume you, God can remind you, you are not who the world says you are. You are who I tested you to be. Those encounters become anchors in your spirit. Quiet proof that your faith is not theoretical, it is lived. And hear me clearly now. Angels do not always leave immediately. Sometimes they linger spiritually, assigned to watch over you after an encounter. That is why some of you felt a strange calm afterward, a peace that didn't make sense, a weight lifted without explanation. That was heaven responding. So let your mind rest. You did not imagine this. You were not foolish. You were obedient, and obedience always echoes in eternity. Why chosen ones interact with angels without knowing? Chosen one, there is a reason your life has never followed the normal patterns you see around you. You have always felt different, not better than others, but set apart, more aware, more sensitive, more burdened by right and wrong. That difference is not accidental. It is spiritual design, and it explains why angels cross your path without announcing themselves. Chosen ones are not led primarily by logic. You are led by discernment. God has trained your spirit to recognize what your eyes cannot. That is why you often feel compelled to help someone without understanding why. You sense urgency where others see inconvenience. You notice heaviness where others remain unaware. Angels move through those spiritual channels because they are drawn to sensitivity, not status. Understand this. Angels are not sent to impress chosen ones. They are sent because chosen ones respond correctly. Heaven knows you will act from compassion instead of curiosity, from obedience instead of ego. If angels appeared in glory, the test would shift from faith to fascination. God is not interested in spectacle, he is interested in obedience. This is also why chosen ones often encounter angelic moments during exhaustion. When you are tired, when you are emotionally drained, when your guard is down. That is when your true nature surfaces, when performance falls away and character remains. Angels observe how you treat people when you gain nothing in return. You see, many people are kind when they are comfortable. Chosen ones are kind even when they are depleted. That is a rare spirit. That is why heaven trusts you with unseen assignments. You don't need applause. You don't need explanation. You move because it feels right in your spirit. There is another reason angels do not reveal themselves to chosen ones. Protection. Revelation carries responsibility. And premature revelation can distract you from your mission. God reveals things in layers, not all at once. He knows when knowledge will strengthen you and when it will overwhelm you. So angels remain hidden until awareness serves purpose, not ego. Chosen one, think about this carefully. If you had known you were helping an angel in that moment, would you have acted differently? Would pride have entered? Would fear have followed? Would doubt have crept in later? God protects your heart by keeping certain truths hidden until the right time. This is why angels often appear during ordinary moments. A conversation, a request, a delay, a small act of kindness. Heaven wants to see your default response, not your rehearsed spirituality. And chosen ones respond with empathy, even when it costs them emotionally. Now let me say something that may surprise you. Angels are also sent to learn from humans, not about holiness, but about endurance. Angels do not experience pain the way humans do. They do not carry trauma. They do not wrestle with doubt. Yet God allows them to witness how chosen ones remain faithful while wounded. That endurance glorifies God in a way perfection never could. Your struggles have meaning beyond you. Your perseverance is observed. Your patience is recorded. Angels witness how you forgive when you could become bitter. How you trust when logic fails. That is why some angelic encounters feel emotionally intense. You are being seen in your humanity, not just your faith. Chosen one. This is also why you often feel called to serve without recognition. You are aligned with heaven's values, not the world's. Angels move quietly. So do chosen ones. Both serve without applause. Both obey without complaint. That resonance creates connection. And let me address something deeply. Some of you fear that you may have missed something, that you failed in a moment, that you didn't recognize what God was doing. Let me free your mind right now. If you are still here, still seeking, still caring, you did not fail. God does not entrust angelic encounters to careless hearts. He entrusted it to you because he knew you would respond correctly, even without understanding. Chosen one, your kindness was not accidental. Your patience was not random. Your compassion was not weakness. It was evidence. Evidence that heaven could trust you. And as this message continues, you will begin to understand what that trust unlocks, and why heaven responds so strongly to obedience done in silence. Chosen one, let me go deeper, because this is where many people misunderstand their own lives. You were not chosen because you are perfect. You were chosen because you are teachable, because you listen when God corrects you, because your heart softens instead of hardening. Angels are sent where humility lives. They avoid pride, they avoid arrogance, they avoid spiritual noise, and they find rest in souls like yours. There is also something else at work here. Chosen ones carry a spiritual frequency that angels recognize, not in a mystical way, but in a moral way. Your values align with heaven. Even when you stumble, your heart returns quickly. That repentance, that awareness, signals safety in the spiritual realm. Angels can move freely around those who are not hostile to God's instruction. Some of you have wondered why strangers open up to you so quickly, why people confess, cry, or seek advice without knowing you. That is not coincidence. Angels often soften hearts before encounters. They prepare moments, and chosen ones become vessels through which peace flows, sometimes without a single word spoken. And let me tell you something important for your mental peace. You are not required to analyze every interaction. God did not choose you to live in constant evaluation. He chose you to live in trust. When angels are involved, God handles the complexity. Your responsibility is simple. Love, obey, stay humble. There are moments when angels withdraw after an encounter and you feel a strange emptiness. That is not loss. That is transition. God moves you forward quietly. And that quiet movement is protection, not absence. So breathe. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where heaven intended you to be. The moment you saved an angel, what actually happened? Chosen one, this is the part where many of you will feel a deep stirring in your spirit. Not excitement, recognition. Because when heaven confirms something, it does not shout. It settles. Let me walk you through what truly happened in that moment you still think was ordinary. That moment did not look dramatic. There were no signs in the sky, no voice calling your name. It looked small, almost forgettable. But heaven does not measure moments the way humans do. God measures obedience, not scale. And what you did, even if it felt minor to you, carried spiritual weight. You crossed paths with someone at a moment when their assignment was vulnerable. Angels are not sent to fail, but they are sent into environments where resistance exists. Darkness pushes back against light, and sometimes God allows his servants to be tested, not because he doubts them, but because he wants to expose human hearts. In that moment, you were not selected randomly. Heaven positioned you there because your spirit had already been prepared. You had been trained through hardship, disappointment, rejection, and silence. Those experiences sharpened your discernment. They softened your heart. They made you responsive instead of reactive. What you offered was not just help. It was alignment. You acted in accordance with God's character. You moved when it would have been easier to ignore. You listened when it would have been easier to rush past. And that obedience created a spiritual covering. Let me be clear and calm your mind. You did not save an angel in the way humans rescue one another. Angels do not need saving from weakness. What you did was authorize movement. You created space for God's will to continue unhindered. You removed resistance through obedience. Some angels are sent to observe human behavior in moments of pressure. Others are sent to deliver messages that require cooperation. And some are sent to test whether love still exists in a hardened world. In your moment, you passed without knowing you were being observed. There are also times when angels are placed in situations where human kindness is the deciding factor. Not because heaven depends on humans, but because God honors partnership. He allows humans to participate in divine outcomes. That partnership builds maturity in the chosen ones. Chosen one, your action sent a signal upward. Not words, evidence. Heaven saw that your faith was not theoretical. It was lived. And when angels report obedience, God responds with protection and favor, often long before you see results. You may not remember the exact moment clearly. That is intentional. God hides the weight of certain acts so they do not become sources of pride or fear. But your spirit remembers. That is why some of you feel a strange peace when you think back, even if you cannot explain it. Let me address something that has troubled some of you. You wonder if you could have done more, if you missed something. Release that burden now. Obedience is measured by response, not by outcome. God does not ask perfection, he asks willingness. And you were willing. After that moment, heaven adjusted things quietly. Some attacks were delayed. Some plans of darkness were disrupted. Some protection was reinforced around you. You may have noticed subtle shifts. A delay that turned into a blessing. A door that closed unexpectedly but saved you later. That was not coincidence. Angels also witness gratitude. Not spoken gratitude, but inner posture. When you serve without resentment, when you help without bitterness, when you obey without needing credit, heaven takes notice. That is rare, and rarity is protected. Chosen one, this is why you should not underestimate your quiet actions. You are not called to perform miracles publicly. You are called to walk faithfully privately, and heaven responds more strongly to the private than the public. And as we move forward, you will understand what this moment unlocked for you, and why heaven is now moving differently around your life. Chosen one, let me seal this understanding gently, because some of you need closure, not excitement. After that encounter, heaven did not move away from you. It moved closer, not in a dramatic way, but in a protective way. Angels adjust their assignment once obedience is proven. They do not hover. They guard. They redirect. They intervene quietly so your path stays intact. Some of you noticed that certain dangers never fully reached you. Accidents that almost happened. Conflicts that dissolved without explanation. Decisions that were delayed just long enough to save you. That was not luck. That was coverage. God does not wait for gratitude to protect his chosen. He protects because it is his nature. Let me also free you from a subtle fear. You are not now under constant observation in a stressful way. Heaven is not watching to criticize you. Angels do not monitor to condemn. They watch to support. They are assigned where God intends growth, not punishment. So release anxiety. You are not walking on spiritual eggshells. That moment you helped without knowing planted a spiritual marker, a reference point in heaven's records. When you pray now, when you feel unheard, when silence stretches, heaven remembers your obedience, not as leverage, but as relationship. God responds to relationship more than ritual. Some of you became stronger after that season, but also softer. That balance is rare. Hardship usually hardens people. Favor usually weakens them. But you carried both without losing your center. Angels notice that stability. It tells heaven you can be trusted with more. And hear this carefully. You are not chosen because you are fearless. You are chosen because you move forward despite fear. That courage is quiet. It doesn't announce itself. It simply acts. And heaven always honors action rooted in love. So let your heart be at rest now. You did not miss anything. You did not fail any hidden test. You fulfilled your assignment exactly as God intended. And heaven responded accordingly, even if earth never noticed. Carry that truth with you when nights feel long and answers feel slow. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are being walked with. Heaven is patient, precise, and personal. Trust the pace. Trust the process. And most of all, trust the God who trusted you first. Your journey is watched, guarded, and guided, every single step forward in faith. The spiritual reward you activated without knowing. Chosen one, let me speak to the part of you that has been waiting quietly, waiting without complaint, waiting without proof, waiting while still trying to do what is right. This is where your heart needs peace, not pressure. Because what you activated through obedience was not a transaction. It was alignment. And alignment always releases reward, even when you are unaware of it. God does not reward his chosen the way the world rewards effort. Heaven does not move based on visibility or applause. It moves based on faithfulness. When you acted in love without knowing the full picture, you opened a spiritual door. Not a door you forced. A door that responded to your posture. One of the first rewards activated was protection, not the kind you feel, but the kind that prevents what you never see. There are battles that never reached you because heaven intercepted them early, attacks that were reassigned, delays that saved you from losses you would not have survived emotionally. This is the mercy of God working through unseen systems. Another reward was clarity. Some of you noticed that confusion began to lift after that season. Decisions became easier. Discernment sharpened. You stopped forcing things that never belonged to you. That clarity did not come from effort. It came from alignment. When you act in obedience, your spiritual senses recalibrate. Chosen one, there is also the reward of advocacy. Angels who witness obedience advocate for reinforcement. They report faithfulness, and God responds by strengthening areas where you were once vulnerable. That is why some of you suddenly found resilience you didn't train for, peace you didn't practice for, endurance you didn't plan for. Heaven supplied what obedience unlocked. Let me correct a dangerous misunderstanding. Reward does not always mean immediate blessing. Sometimes reward comes as removal. God removes distractions. He removes people who drain you. He removes assignments that were never yours. That removal feels like loss at first, but it is protection wearing the disguise of disappointment. Some of you experienced a quiet separation after that encounter. Relationships faded. Conversations stopped. Paths diverged. You blamed yourself. You wondered if you did something wrong. You didn't. God was clearing space. Angels enforce boundaries that chosen ones struggle to maintain emotionally. There is also the reward of timing. When you obey without knowing, God accelerates certain things later. He redeems time. He compresses seasons. What others struggle to build, God stabilizes for you quietly. Not because you are favored unfairly, but because you were faithful privately. Chosen one, I need you to hear this without skepticism. Heaven remembers obedience longer than humans remember effort. You may forget what you did. God does not forget who you are becoming. And every act of faithfulness layers protection, favor, and readiness. Some rewards are emotional, a calm that replaces anxiety, a confidence that replaces fear, a groundedness that replaces restlessness. These are not temporary moods, they are spiritual outcomes. Angels guard emotional stability because emotional instability compromises purpose. And finally, there is the reward of trust. God entrusts more to those who move without needing explanation. Not heavier burdens, but deeper assignments. Ones that require maturity, not strength. Wisdom, not noise. Chosen one, you did not act in vain. Nothing you did was wasted. Heaven does not waste obedience. And as this message continues, you will begin to understand how to carry this awareness forward without pressure, fear, or pride. Chosen one, there is also a reward that touches the mind in ways few people understand. When obedience is sincere, God quiets the inner noise. He softens the racing thoughts. He steadies the emotions that once felt unpredictable. Some of you noticed you stopped over-explaining yourself. You stopped chasing validation. You became comfortable with silence. That was not withdrawal. That was maturity forming under heaven's guidance. Another reward is discernment with peace. You no longer feel compelled to react to everything. You sense what deserves your energy and what does not. Angels assist in this refinement. They redirect your attention before harm can take root. They nudge you away from arguments that would drain you. They shield you from information that would disturb your rest. This is not avoidance. It is wisdom activated. There is also a reward that unfolds slowly. Confidence in God's nearness. Not emotional highs, but steady assurance. You pray differently now. Less panic, more trust. You wait without resentment. You move without fear of missing out. That confidence did not come from answers. It came from experience. Heaven proved itself quietly. Some of you gained the ability to forgive without reopening wounds. That is not human strength. That is spiritual assistance. Forgiveness guarded by angels does not weaken boundaries. It strengthens them. It allows you to release bitterness without losing discernment. That balance is a gift, not a skill. Let me speak to those who feel unseen. God sometimes rewards obedience by hiding you for a season. Not to punish you, but to preserve you. While others compete, you are refined. While others rush, you are rooted. Angels protect hidden seasons fiercely because exposure too early can damage what God is growing. Another reward is resilience under pressure. Situations still arise, but they no longer shake your core. You recover faster. You grieve without collapsing. You face uncertainty without losing faith. This resilience is not denial. It is trust strengthened through alignment. And finally, there is the reward of continuity. God continues walking with you. Angels remain assigned. Guidance remains active. The relationship deepens. You are not starting over. You are building forward. Every obedient step compounds. Nothing resets to zero. Heaven does not erase progress. So when impatience whispers that nothing has changed, remember this: much has changed within you. And what changes within you determines what God can safely release around you. Rest in that truth. Growth is happening. Reward is unfolding. Alignment is holding you steady. Keep walking. Do not rush the outcome. Do not compare timelines. Your path is calibrated. Heaven measures readiness, not speed. Each quiet victory matters. Each resisted impulse counts. Each faithful decision strengthens you. You are being prepared, not postponed. What waits ahead requires this version of you. Trust that preparation. Trust God's restraint. Trust the unseen hands guiding you. Peace is proof you are aligned. Stay grounded, remain humble. Walk gently and allow time to finish what obedience and heaven have already begun within your life now. Why this message is reaching you now? Chosen one, this message did not reach you by chance. There is nothing random about this moment. God does not interrupt your life without intention. When a message like this finds you, it is because your spirit is ready to receive it without confusion, fear, or pride. Earlier in your journey, this truth might have overwhelmed you. Later, it might have felt too late. But now, it lands at the exact moment your soul needs reassurance, not pressure. You have been through a quiet season, not empty, but silent. A season where you kept moving even when answers were scarce, where you prayed, waited, and still chose righteousness even when you felt unseen. That silence was not distance. It was refinement. God often removes noise before he delivers clarity. This message is clarity arriving after endurance. Chosen one, heaven speaks when doubt begins to settle into the mind, when exhaustion starts asking dangerous questions. Questions like, does my obedience matter? Does anyone see my faithfulness? Is God still guiding me? This message is heaven's response. It is God reminding you that nothing you've done in obedience has gone unnoticed. The reason this message is reaching you now is because you are standing at an internal turning point. You may not have said it out loud, but something inside you has been shifting. You've felt a pull to slow down, to stop proving, to stop forcing outcomes. That pull is wisdom forming, and God speaks when wisdom replaces impatience. Another reason this message arrives now is maturity. You are no longer seeking signs to feel special. You are seeking peace to feel grounded. That shift matters. Revelation given too early creates pride or fear. Revelation given at the right time creates stability. God waited until you could carry this truth without ego, obsession, or anxiety. Some of you are healing from disappointment, plans that didn't work, people who walked away, doors that closed without explanation. You wondered if you misheard God. You didn't. God sometimes allows endings to protect beginnings you cannot yet see. This message is not reopening old wounds. It is explaining why those wounds did not destroy you. Heaven sends confirmation when chosen ones begin mistaking silence for abandonment. Silence is not rejection. Silence is instruction without noise. This message is God stepping in before discouragement settles too deeply. Not to rush you, but to steady you. Let me say this plainly so your mind can rest. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. The timing of this message proves that God has been walking with you even when you felt alone. Angels do not deliver reassurance randomly. They do so when endurance has reached its limit and rest is required. This message is reaching you now because God wants you calm for what comes next. Not excited, not anxious, calm. What lies ahead requires clarity, not urgency, stability, not striving. And God prepares the mind before he moves the path. So receive this message gently. You are still guided, still guarded, still chosen. Nothing has slipped through heaven's hands. This is not a warning. This is reassurance. God reminding you that the quiet season worked, and you are ready for what follows. Chosen one, there is another reason this message arrives now, and it is one many people overlook. You are no longer asking God to prove himself. You are asking him to guide you. That shift changes everything. Heaven responds differently to humility than it does to desperation. When you stopped demanding signs and started seeking alignment, God knew your heart was ready for reassurance instead of explanation. You have reached a point where you can hear truth without trying to control it. Earlier, you might have tried to force outcomes after receiving revelation. You might have rushed ahead of God, thinking clarity meant immediate action. But now you understand restraint. You understand waiting without resentment. That wisdom makes this message safe to receive. Some of you have been carrying quiet emotional fatigue, not dramatic exhaustion, but a steady heaviness from always being strong, always being the one who understands, always being the one who keeps going. God sees that weight. And this message is not adding responsibility, it is lifting pressure. It is God saying, you do not need to hold everything together by yourself anymore. This message also reaches you now because certain cycles are closing. You are not meant to keep repeating lessons you have already learned. Heaven does not waste growth. When awareness increases, patterns must change. This message is helping you recognize that you are no longer the person you were in past struggles. Your responses are different now. Your reactions are calmer. Your faith is steadier. That means old battles cannot follow you forward. Chosen one, angels are often instructed to bring awareness right before transition. Not to alarm you, but to anchor you. Transition can feel destabilizing if you don't understand what is happening internally. This message gives language to what your spirit already sensed. You are not drifting, you are shifting. Another truth you need to hear is this. God did not delay things because you were unready. He delayed them because others were. Because circumstances needed alignment. Because protection required patience. This message is reaching you now because conditions are finally changing, not visibly yet, but spiritually. And spiritual shifts always precede physical ones. Some of you have noticed that you are less reactive to provocation. Things that once upset you now pass without effect. That emotional quiet is not numbness, it is grounding, and grounding is necessary before expansion. God stabilizes the inner world before adjusting the outer one. This message is also reaching you now because comparison no longer dominates your thinking. You still notice others, but you no longer measure yourself against them. That independence of spirit matters. Heaven entrusts deeper insight to those who are secure, not competitive. Let me calm a lingering fear. You are not about to be tested harshly. This awareness is not preparing you for pain. It is preparing you for clarity. What comes next requires discernment, not endurance. Wisdom, not survival. So if you feel unusually calm while hearing this, that is confirmation. God is not rushing you. He is aligning you. And alignment feels like peace before movement, not chaos before breakthrough. Stay grounded, stay humble, stay present. You do not need to figure out what comes next today. This message reached you now because knowing that you are still guided is enough for this moment. Trust that. Rest in that. Heaven has not lost sight of you. How to walk forward with awareness, not fear. Chosen one, awareness is not meant to make you anxious. It is meant to make you anchored. Many people confuse spiritual awareness with hypervigilance. They think noticing God's movement means constantly scanning for danger, signs, or hidden meaning. That is not how heaven trains the chosen. God does not sharpen your discernment to burden your mind. He sharpens it to quiet your spirit. Walking forward with awareness begins with understanding this simple truth. You are guided, not hunted. Fear assumes you might miss something and lose everything. Awareness trusts that God will redirect you before damage occurs. Chosen ones do not walk by panic, they walk by peace. Peace is not the absence of uncertainty. It is the presence of trust. Let me say this clearly so your nervous system can relax. You do not need to overanalyze your past encounters. You do not need to replay moments searching for hidden tests. Obedience that was sincere does not need review. God does not retroactively fail his children. If he trusted you then, he trusts you now. Awareness means staying present, not becoming suspicious. It means listening to your spirit without interrogating it. When something feels misaligned, you pause, you pray, you wait, you do not spiral. Fear rushes, awareness rests. Fear demands certainty. Awareness trusts timing. Some of you struggle here because you were trained by hardship to always be alert. Trauma teaches vigilance. God teaches discernment. Discernment is calm. It does not shout. It does not rush decisions. It does not create urgency without instruction. As you walk forward, your task is not to anticipate danger, but to maintain alignment. Walking with awareness also means resisting the urge to feel special in a performative way. Revelation is not a badge, it is a responsibility. The more God shows you, the more gently you must walk. Humility protects awareness. Pride distorts it. Stay grounded, stay teachable. You move forward by continuing to live simply. Love people. Do what is right even when it is inconvenient. Rest when your body asks for rest. Pray without scripting outcomes. Awareness grows in simplicity, not complexity. God rarely speaks through chaos. He speaks through stillness. Let me help you release another burden. You are not required to recognize angels, signs, or divine moments in real time. Recognition is not the assignment. Obedience is. Heaven handles recognition. You handle faithfulness. That division of responsibility is intentional. It keeps your mind free. Fear asks, what if I miss something important? Awareness answers, God will not allow what is essential to pass me by. Fear focuses on loss. Awareness focuses on guidance. Fear isolates. Awareness connects. As you walk forward, you will notice something shift. You will become slower to speak and quicker to listen, not because you are unsure, but because you are discerning. Silence will no longer feel empty. It will feel informative. That is growth. You will also learn to let go of forcing clarity. Some things become clear only after you pass through them. Trust does not require full understanding. It requires willingness. God reveals direction step by step because dependency deepens relationship. Walking without fear also means allowing joy without suspicion. Some of you hesitate to enjoy peace because you expect it to be taken away. That expectation is not wisdom, it is residue. God does not tease his children with calm. He invites them into it. When peace comes, receive it fully. Awareness includes boundaries. You do not need to explain yourself to everyone. You do not need to rescue everyone. Discernment will tell you when to engage and when to step back. Saying no can be obedience. Walking away can be faith. And finally, walking forward means trusting that heaven continues to walk with you. Angels do not disappear after moments of obedience. God does not withdraw guidance after reassurance. What changes is your posture. You walk steadier now, quieter, less reactive. So move forward gently, not cautiously, but consciously. You are not fragile, you are refined. Let awareness deepen your peace, not disturb it. Fear is not your compass. Trust is. And trust will keep you aligned as long as you keep walking. Chosen one, there is a daily rhythm to awareness that keeps fear from returning. Begin your days without urgency. Before the mind races, acknowledge God's presence, not with many words, but with consent. Say yes to guidance before choices appear. That simple posture steadies the nervous system and reminds the soul it is not alone. Throughout the day, practice gentle check-ins. Ask, is my response aligned or reactive? Alignment feels calm even when firm. Reaction feels loud even when justified. This question is not judgment, it is calibration. When you notice reactivity, pause without shame. Pausing is power. Heaven respects restraint. Awareness also grows through gratitude that is specific. Thank God for protection you cannot see, for delays that saved you, for redirections that felt inconvenient. Gratitude trains the mind to expect care instead of danger. Fear shrinks when appreciation expands. This is spiritual hygiene. Another practice is guarding inputs. What you watch, read, and listen to shapes perception. Limit voices that magnify chaos. Choose words that strengthen faith. Awareness is sensitive. Feed it peace. Starve it drama. This is not avoidance. It is stewardship. Learn to recognize the difference between conviction and condemnation. Conviction invites change with hope. Condemnation pushes change with panic. God speaks through conviction. Fear speaks through condemnation. When a thought produces despair, reject it. When a thought produces clarity, receive it. Discernment becomes easier with practice. Walking forward also means honoring the body. Rest is not weakness. Fatigue distorts discernment. Eat, sleep, and breathe with intention. God often restores clarity through rest before revelation. Angels guard rest because rest preserves judgment. Community matters, but choose it wisely. Share with those who value humility over spectacle. Avoid environments that compete for attention. Awareness flourishes where sincerity lives. You do not need many voices, you need true ones. Finally, remember progress is quiet. Do not measure growth by emotion, measure it by response. Are you calmer? Are you kinder? Are you quicker to forgive and slower to assume? These are signs of awareness rooted in trust. Fear counts outcomes. Awareness counts faithfulness. Walk on, step by step. If you stumble, stand without drama. God corrects gently. Heaven is patient. Your path is secure. One more discipline anchors awareness deeply. Surrendering outcomes daily. Place expectations in God's hands and release timelines. Say, guide my steps and govern results. This practice dissolves pressure. Pressure feeds fear. Surrender feeds trust. As trust grows, intuition sharpens without strain. You may still encounter uncertainty. Let uncertainty be information, not intimidation. Ask what wisdom is forming here. Wait for peace before action when possible. When action is required quickly, choose love and integrity. Heaven supports choices rooted in character. Celebrate small obediences. Quiet victories compound. A restrained word, a delayed reply, a generous act unseen. These moments train awareness like muscle memory. Over time, calm becomes default. When mistakes occur, repair quickly. Apologize. Adjust. Continue. Shame stalls movement. Grace restores momentum. God corrects direction, not identity. Keep walking. End each day with review, not regret. Notice where guidance appeared. Thank God. Release what remains unresolved. Sleep with trust. Morning will bring sufficient clarity for the next step. This rhythm keeps awareness awake and fear asleep. Remember, gentleness is strength. Speak kindly to yourself. Progress is allowed to be uneven. God measures direction, not speed. When doubt resurfaces, return to basics. Pray. Rest. Love. Repeat. Awareness thrives on consistency, not intensity. Keep choosing faith in ordinary moments. Heaven multiplies ordinary obedience into lasting peace. Stay calm, remain faithful, walk humbly, trust guidance daily, and allow patience to complete what wisdom has begun within you. Conclusion. Heaven saw you. Chosen one, let me end this by bringing your spirit to rest. Nothing about your journey has gone unseen. Nothing about your obedience has been overlooked. Heaven does not miss quiet faithfulness. God does not forget silent endurance. Angels do not overlook moments done in love without recognition. Everything you lived through shaped you for alignment, not abandonment. You were never alone in the moments you questioned yourself. You were never unprotected in the seasons you felt exposed. You were never forgotten when answers took time. Heaven watched. Heaven recorded. Heaven responded in ways you may only fully understand later. What matters now is this truth. God trusted you, and that trust was not misplaced. You do not need to walk forward searching for signs or fearing mistakes. You walk forward grounded, calm, aware, secure in the knowledge that obedience matters even when it feels small, especially when it feels small. God builds great things through quiet faithfulness. So release the need to prove anything. Release the pressure to rush. Release the fear that you might miss your calling. You are already in it. Your life itself is the evidence. Keep walking humbly. Keep loving sincerely. Keep trusting deeply. Heaven will handle the rest. If this message settled something in your spirit, before you go, chosen one, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Tap the bell icon. Share this message with other chosen ones and comment 777 in the comments to declare your alignment with God's divine purpose. Rest now. You are guided. You are guarded. You are chosen. Heaven saw you, and heaven walks with you still.